So, it's time. Let's start. Thank you guys for joining us today. I'm here with David and Raul. Both of us, we are co-leading the Immersion-Hurdles workstream, which is actually one of the most exciting and, let's say, productive working groups, because it's designed as an incubator workstream. So the aim of this working group is actually very simple. It's all about supporting the industry towards the journey of implementing immersion cooling solutions, trying to understand what are actually the current challenges and obstacles, and work to produce and let's say foster the discussion with creation of new work streams, with the aim in the end to be able to address and solve those concerns, all of that driven by the community and, of course, the industry. So I'm just taking on the initial presentation that Rolf did. We are very excited to be one of the most productive working groups, let's say, taking on that new workstream creation and fostering those discussions. I mean, as Rolf said, extremely quick to kick off new work streams to address TCO modeling, warranty guidelines, and signal integrity. Having the participation, and as you can see that, of the industry on those. So it's actually a very exciting group to be part of, and I really encourage you to join our calls. So the aim is very simple. It's how we identify the obstacles, how we guide them, and how to get the industry and, let's say, community guidance to deal with those, with the aim of actually getting robust solutions that, let's say, cover operational soundness of liquid immersion cooling, and again, foster the community, users, integrators, and suppliers there, having a roadmap on how to pave the adoption of production-ready immersion cooling. This is a bit of the same, so I'm going to skip this slide here because we discussed this already. So one of the main focus and one of the main discussions that we are having right now, and actually this is just a brief update of the work and the discussions that we are having at the moment, and most of those points that we're going to touch today, they have high probability to be, let's say, span out as work streams with the proper, let's say, community and industry support. And it's all about, right now, one of the main points is system operations of immersion cooling. So what it takes to actually bring that equipment in, operate that day-to-day operations, and all of that is actually passing through how we manage server maintenance, IT equipment cleaning, so all of the fluid life cycle, and how we unify approaches for operations for the different form factors that we saw before. So very exciting topic. I really encourage you, again, I know that I'm repeating myself, I really encourage you to join the call just to support the discussions there. But that's great. I mean, and the very good thing about this group, and one of the, let's say, active, let's say, tasks that we run is actually how we involve the industry. So we are more than happy and we are more than welcome to bring, let's say, experts in the field just to address or just to, let's say, update about their progress on different topics. One of those, for instance, is about talking about the operations, is how we do leakage detection and how we integrate this kind of technology to solve that issue on operations. So we had industry participation on that. That was a session which is actually recorded and you can actually check. And there was an excellent discussion. So with that, I will leave the next slide for David.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, David.
in our calls, we involve the participants. And one of the way of that collaboration is to share the existing experience in other industry and transfer that to the immersion cooling for data centers. Here you see that in order to understand what is going on with fluids in the tank, there exist solutions which we take as the base, where on the left side you see the parameters which we looking online, and at the same time we send some examples to the lab and more detailed analysis of the fluid, of its behavior, and all that together we store in the cloud and can predict what will happen with the fluids. But this is the perfect example how we take the contribution from the participant and after all together start to improve that. Another our activity is now connected with the understanding the voice of the market. What market thinking? And market is not only the customers, it's also the producers, it's also the integrators, all of them, designers and etc. So the purpose of this questionnaire is to get feedback. Where are we now and what we need to improve? So we form that questions which addressed to all the participants, and based on that feedback, moving forward. And we will do that each year continuously. And this is supported by OCP marketing team. So all of you can be involved in that survey. And another driver to make that transition from air to immersion cooling is the integrated solution, like modular data center, open source modular data center based on immersion cooling solution. Why it's important? Before was divided the IT equipment and facility equipment. Divider was the air. Now there is no divider. Everything is integrated. And it is very vital to have integrated, completed solution. And if we will have some base solution, first one, and understanding how to do that, next time will be much easier to do. So right now we are working on the creating this open source modular data center approach, which can be taken by designer, by the end customer, or the integrator, or the contractor, and understand how to build a modular data center based on immersion cooling. And by this, we want to involve more people to our work stream, join, share your experience, share your obstacles in order to accelerate that transition. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guys. Please join.
And we have time for questions. Yes, or your experience, or your problems, or your questions, please.
Paul Arman from A&B. I had a question. I didn't see it on the list, but fluid type comes up quite a bit. And there's the traditional oil versus the PFAS materials. Is that a question you see out there, or what are your viewpoints? I mean, the PFAS materials are getting a lot of pushback in both Europe and the US, but still have been broadly deployed, probably deployed more so than any of the oil to date. Is there kind of how you tracking that, and there's a viewpoint?
Well, actually, this is a very interesting question because there's a huge debate in the industry right now, and as everybody knows. But that actually, I mean, it's very interesting because we are driven by the community. So we haven't, even if we are aware of all of that, because we have experience in the immersion industry, this is not a topic that has been brought by the community to this working group. So we are more than welcome to have this discussion because we haven't addressed that. Yeah, this is one of the
Yeah,
main.
I think it's interesting
main
because
topics, yeah.
they're so different in terms of thermal performance, service, and then you get into the really the environmental issues. But and I'm seeing predominantly there's a bifurcation where Asia's still going down that PFAS. At 3M's exited, they're looking at NOAA now as another fluid, or Honeywell Solvay. But the other markets are pretty much on oil, so it's kind of interesting, the diversions.
Yeah, I think that it's all about, let's say, what you consider the most appropriate immersion cooling technologies to implement in your data center. And we are seeing single phase with oils and PFAS with two phase in that sense. We all of us, we heard about those news, those announcements, and this is a topic of debate that we are welcoming to address in our work.
Yeah, and I'm seeing PFAS on single phase. So which is what I'm seeing dominantly today, actually, in the market.
By the way, we have covered that topic in one of the previous calls in our hurdles, and we have participants which use two-phase and which produce the fluids. And the idea is that there was question, will you shift from two-phase to single-phase? And the answer that no, we will still two-phase, but looking for the other fluids, for the other solution, but to get the same efficient way of cooling.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to comment something. I had conversation with...
Please.
Yeah.
I had opportunity to speak with 3M yesterday, and my impression is that 3M is moving out of cooling liquids. Single-phase liquids will be obsolete in 2025, and they will phase out other cooling liquids, fluorocarbonated.
Yes, but you should understand that the market is not only 3M. There is also other producers which can help for two-phase producers.
Understood.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so if there's nobody else, thank you so much, and thank you so much for the active participation on the questions.
Okay.
Oh, got me.
You have 5 minutes. The session starts in 5 minutes.